reinsurers. The next part is in the losses side of things. So we're going to go into the excess of loss part of things, where I want to show you how, with Prima Re, you can manage your Excel losses in a straightforward manner. So here's our list of losses, and down here we have a graph. Let's show you a chart which shows you this year so far when the major loss events happened. And this is just a little feature to show what we can do with Prima Re. These figures are, in fact, calculated by Prima Re from the claims database. They just troll through the claims database and aggregates claims by loss event day, by date, and is perhaps handy to detect when there's a major loss that's occurred or a loss event that's occurred, and that we haven't found out about yet. As for a loss itself, well, let's show you one of our Cat Excel losses here. It's just loading up. This is the Cat Excel loss on the 2010 year. I'll show you here a little screen for how we can edit the Excel loss. We've got the loss name field, which is there for being the reference number in the company, and the little description. At the moment, the description isn't. I haven't chosen a very imaginative name, but you can type what you like in here. We've got the different loss currencies. So this is the currency in which the loss will be reported to reinsurers. We can say if it's a major loss or if it's a market event, in case you do manage market events, and you can put the name and the total market event cost as well. These cat losses, we have a loss start date here and the loss duration, which is a bit grayed out. It's grayed out. Why? Because we've already done some bookings on it, and so we don't want to change the loss start date and duration. Otherwise, the claims will be unlinked automatically. So the loss start date and duration is handy because Prima Re has got this feature for helping you manage the link between claims and Excel losses. So right here we can see that we've already attached 3 of the inwards claims which Prima Re has fetched from the simulated inwards insurance system. So 3 claims which you've already attached, and the amounts have been racking up month by month, and they're split in this graph amongst the 3 major risks which we've got in this demo database protection program. So our demo database protection program is basically split amongst liability, damage, and life, and we've parameterized this demo database so that each inwards claim and inwards premium, according to the particular coverage that it applies to, these claims will go into one of the 3 different categories of the Excel programs, of the protection program, sorry. And since we've done this claim attachment, I can go in here and I can see that we've got another claim that's been input into the inwards insurance system. And this is a claim which I haven't seen before, so this would be a good idea for me to call up the claims people and ask them the details of this claim and see if it's got something to do with this this loss event up here or not. So in the case when it doesn't, what I'll do is I'll ignore it, and now it won't crop up in this particular list anymore, but it will still be able to crop up in lists for other events should there be other events on that particular date. This loss has got quite a big liability incurred loss, about 19 million euros up here. And so what we've done is we've linked it, we've defined it as being covered by the liability CAT Excel program, which runs from 100,000 right up to the top limit of 12 million. So let's go and have a look at the CAT Excel program to see how this loss impacts the CAT Excel program. So for that, I go over to the Programs tab, and I go down the list until I find the CatXL program, and it's this one. So CXL, CatXL, P program 10/2010, and LBL for liability. This is just a codification scheme I made up when I created these programs. Of course, every insurance company will have its own naming scheme. I'll just make a bit of space by going down here. CatXL program with its different layers. Each one of these layers is, of course, a section of one of the treaties in the Sessions tab, which I'll show you in a minute. And this chart is just an illustration of how those layers stack up. So we've got each layer from top to bottom and the number of reinstatements. So there's 8 reinstatements for the first layer and so on, right up to 2 reinstatements for the top layer. I'll just go down a bit more, and now I'll show you down here what we have is we have the illustration of how the losses impact the Excel program. So here's our loss, CL 10050803. That's the loss that I've just shown you a minute ago with the same description, date, and starts, just so that you can really identify it. We've got the total paid claims so far on the inward side, on the direct insurance side, and the outstanding amount. And we've also got the net amount. So these amounts are net of the inuring and sequencing that is defined in this demo database. Just for information, in the demo database, we have a quota share liability that covers that particular year, and it's a quota share, I believe, of about 70%. I'll have to check that in a minute. So that explains why the net paid claims are a lot lower than the total paid claims. And the chart down here shows the layers of the Excel program. So layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right up to the top. And the lines here show how the total incurred loss for each loss impacts the Excel program. So here we've got a total incurred loss that almost goes up to the top layer. But of course, if we want to claim on that policy to the reinsurers, what's more interesting is to have the claims paid. And the claims paid net of inuring and sequencing. And sure enough, here is the amount, 913,000 euros, which means that we can claim on the bottom layer and on the first layer. Just for memory's purposes, the bottom layer is 500,000 excess 100,000, and the second layer is 600,000 excess 600,000. And so that matches very well with what you see in the graph. Okay? And so the Prima Re helps you manage your losses, and it also helps you manage how the losses impact the Excel programs and then produce your claims on the Excel programs. Now, another program I want to show you as well is the surplus programs, because there's not just Excel programs. In fact, we've got 3 kinds of Excel programs. We've got CatXL programs, and we've got working Excel programs, and we've got the Life Excel programs as well, which handle individual lives. But on page 2, we've got 2 surplus programs, one for 2010, one for 2011. And I'll just show you what the screen for that one looks like, because the surplus program, in our case, is, it helps if I double click. The surplus program here is made up of 2 layers, each one of which is a section in the multi-section treaties on the session side. Here's here's the way you define the layers. What Prima Re does when you go into this screen is it shows you the list of all the existing sections that match the particular program details you've put in up here when you've created the program. So there's the 2 surplus sections, of course, which I've already selected, but it's telling me there's also a global damage quota share here, a 5% quota share up to 20,000 euros, which can be used to cover the retention of the surplus program. Now, I won't select that one at the moment because the figures will change, of course, as soon as I select it. But this is the screen you can use to build the programs, and so to have your own vision from the cedent's point of view of how the reinsurance